Landen Chandler. Less than 12% of adults use calculus, trigonometry, or algebra in their daily lives. According to Joe Bowler, professor of mathematics education at Stanford Graduate School of Education in the LA Times in October 2019. Everyone in this room at one point has wondered if what they're doing is really necessary. Whether it was arguing with your parents about brushing your teeth when you were younger, or taking a class in high school that you weren't quite sure would actually contribute to your future life. The Minnesota Department of Education needs to vary core class requirements to fit students' future aspirations. First, I'll talk about the problem of universal core class requirements, and then I'll talk about my solution and how we can vary core class requirements. First, I'll talk about the problem of universal core class requirements. Universal core class requirements create many problems. The first problem they create is that they waste time. We go to school 7 hours a day as students, and I don't think that any of us want to waste that time. The purpose of school is to prepare us for our future lives and to ready us for our careers. But certain classes don't really do that for some careers. According to Mary Catherine Ricker, a labor leader and commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Education, in her report, Graduation Requirements, published in 2017, to graduate in Minnesota, you need to have 6 to 8 semesters of each core class. This can be ridiculous because some classes you won't need to take for your future career. If you don't need to take one of those classes, you'll still have to take 8 semesters of it, which can waste a lot of your time. Another problem with universal core class requirements is that it leaves students unprepared. According to Marty Bromberg, who has a doctorate in educational leadership, in a report for Education Trust, a nonprofit organization that promotes high academic achievement for all students, published in April 2016, high school graduates don't possess the skills that they need for entry-level jobs. This is not acceptable. We are also unprepared as we don't have the exposure that we need to these jobs. Now that I've talked about the problem with universal core class requirements, now I'll talk about my solution and how we can vary core class requirements. As I said earlier, one thing that we can do is as simple as just changing what classes we need to take. Instead of, as I said earlier, only 12% of people use calculus, 66% of people use stats and probability in their daily lives. This will, if we teach these classes to high school students, this will help them prepare to join the workforce in the future. Rosie Phillips Davis, a PhD in psychology in the journal American Psychological Association, published in 2019, stated that a psychologist does not need to take any language classes, but throughout high school they will still have had to take 8 semesters of language classes, which really would not prepare them for their job, when they could be taking psychological classes to prepare them for their career. A mathematician and electrician obviously need to take different classes, but as of right now, they're required to take very similar curriculums. Varying curriculums based on each student has proven to work in STEM schools. According to Barbara Means, who has a doctorate in education, published in the Journal of Research and Science Teaching in December 2015, STEM students are more prepared than regular students when they're entering engineering fields. This shows that when we prepare students for their future jobs, they will be ahead of the curve. First, I talked about the problem of universal core class requirements. Then I talked about my solution of varying core class requirements. The Minnesota Department of Education needs to vary core class requirements to fit students' aspirations. Hopefully, instead of just 12% being ready for their future jobs and daily lives, we can bump that up to 100% by varying core class requirements.